Welcome back to another episode of Tech Fit, where we take a nuanced and calm approach to recent tech news that's been blowing up the internet. One of the things that I've noticed this year, as a guy that looks at tech stuff all the time, a new category of PC has emerged over the last few years and become really popular, the mini PC. There's all kinds of them out there. As someone that enjoys retro gaming, if you couldn't tell from my shirt, shout out to My Retro Life, an amazing channel. A lot of those mini PCs are retro focused. Companies like Ayaneo are putting out mini PCs designed to look like 1984 Macintoshes and 85 NES. There's GeekOM is another big mini PC maker that's all over Amazon. And it seems like every month there's a new one with a newer, faster AMD processor. As cool as those mini PCs are, the problem you run into is you can only put so much power into such a tiny box. Well, a few weeks ago, Apple made some announcements and they released their new M4 Mac Mini. Now, if you know me, there's a couple of you out there, you know that I used to work for Apple for about 4 years. I'm an ex-genius. It's my business card now. And I know the Mac system inside out pretty well. I don't use them anymore, though. I moved on to fun things where I can build my own PCs and get away with it. Well, Apple released this new M4 Mac Mini, which is a tiny little powerhouse. The benchmarks I've seen, which feel free to look them up, are incredible. And if you're looking for a PC for a decent price that you can do video editing and audio work and you like Mac, it's a good little PC for it. The Mac Mini has actually been my favorite Mac line since about 2006. That was when I got my first Mac Mini. I loved it. I used to do my video production on it. My buddy Brian, he used it for sound work. In fact, I think he still has it. God, I hope not. I think he's old by now. Hopefully he's upgraded. And my last Mac desktop was a 2018 Mac Mini, which I was happy to see redesigned because you could go in and pop out the RAM and put new chips in there, which is, you can't really do that on Apple stuff very often. And you can't do it anymore because they moved off of Intel. But the tech world was in awe from this tiny little powerhouse. Well, not to be outdone by their rivals of many years, Microsoft recently had an announcement as well. And they announced the Windows, I have to cheat and look at the name, the Windows 365 Link, which is about similar size from what I can tell. I haven't seen one in person yet, but it looks similar in size to a Mac Mini. It's got a good number of ports on the back for hooking up keyboard, mouse, monitors, all that fun stuff. Ethernet. But there's a big difference. It doesn't have a local operating system, or at least not one that you can use. It's designed to be used with the Windows 365 service, which is a Windows computer in the cloud. And of course, TechX exploded in anger over this $350 box that does nothing if you don't have an internet connection. Well, as someone who spent 14 years in consumer electronics sales and 10 years on the IT side, enterprise IT that is, I can tell you it's not for the average consumer. This box is awesome for offices. Now, I get it. If internet goes down, what are you going to do? Right now, with employees with laptops, if the internet goes down, they're not doing anything. So much work has moved to the cloud already. When it comes to Microsoft, your email obviously is on the cloud. Office synchronizes via the cloud. The websites you visit obviously are on the cloud. So losing internet is already a problem if you're in an office. Now, if you have a capable IT force, like the one I'm on, if there's an internet outage, you get on it right away and get it solved as quickly as possible. Sometimes you can do it internally, sometimes you gotta wait for the ISP to get, off their keisters. But when I look at this little box and I think about managing 2,500 laptops, that's insane. There are so many tickets that come into help desks around the country that are simple problems that can easily be solved by things like restarting a box or disconnecting, reconnecting a cable. And all of that is because of the local OS. And a lot of times it happens with offices that have one of the new crazes, the hot swappable desk, where you just have a dock, people come in with their laptop, plug in, and in theory, they're ready to go. But that's not always the case. There's always some kind of driver conflict. Well, with Windows 365, the way it works is you go to a website, you log into your account, and there's your desktop. If you were working on something, it's there. You don't have to worry about closing things before shutting down, or did I save something? It's already done. And for your average user, this is an incredible thing because they constantly forget to save something, or they forget to save it to the cloud. It happens all the darn time. But, Nuance take, this is an awesome feature. The price is a little high, but it's enterprise pricing. Enterprise pricing is always higher. Dell laptop should not be $1,500, Dell. Get off of it. Anyways, the $350 that they charge, from what I've seen in the box, it does have 8 gigs of local memory, 64 gigs of storage, and it sounds like it's got an ARM chip. And the reason I say this is the Windows 365 Link, Microsoft in their names, is a Copilot Plus PC, which requires, at this point, ARM processors. There are Intel and AMD processors on the way that should meet those specifications, but they're not out yet. However, I have not seen the exact specs of what's in this computer for a processor. They're also not out yet. I want to say I saw spring next year, maybe March, maybe April, one of those. But again, Nuance take, this isn't the end of the world. What I am excited about is when you have to manage those 2,500 laptops, or God, some companies 10,000 laptops easily. If you've never been in IT support, just think about how many employees work at certain companies and remember that all of them have computers. It is so much easier to manage an online presence than a device that gets carried around. As for working from home, Windows 365, they can just log in. There's their interface. There's everything they had open. All 18 tabs in Chrome if they're on a light day. They're there. Excuse me. What I think Microsoft is trying to do with this product, they're not trying to set sales records. They're not trying to blow anybody away. But much like the Surface Pro and Surface Laptop that launched recently for the Copilot Plus program, this is a concept device that should be inspiring other manufacturers to make similar product. And as those similar products begin to hit market, you're going to see competition, you're going to see prices come down. This is one of the things I like about PCs you don't get with Mac. Only Apple makes Mac now. They're going to set the price. But with PCs, and one of the other segments we've seen explode in the last year are handheld PCs, having that competition drives those prices down. And I'm looking forward to it. I think if you've got an office to outfit and you need 100 computers for the office, this is a much better route to go than trying to get a bunch of laptops imaged and sent out to users. You just set up their instance on Windows 365, give them access to what they need. You can set your own security policies, so, well, you don't have to worry about a computer not checking in properly and not getting the security policies, which is nice. But I think this is a really great use of the technology. Yes, if they lose internet, they're not going to be working. But as soon as they get it back, they just log in and there's their stuff. It's a great idea. Just let them take a lunch if they lose internet. Get it back up and running, and they come back and they're surprised. Anyway, that's all I got for this little tidbit on TechFit. I hope you're liking these new programs I'm putting out. I'm going to try to put out a few every week. Again, the idea is a nuanced take on recent news, not a knee-jerk reaction like you normally see from all the other blogs. Take care, and I'll see you next time.